And I now give the floor to the representative of Voice of Specially Abled People Incorporated.
My name is Shivam Saran, and I'm currently an undergraduate student at Emory University. I'm honored to be here today with my colleague Manashri Desai, an undergraduate student at the University of Southern California, as volunteers of Voice of Specially Abled People, a global advocacy organization for disability rights. We would like to thank Mr. Pranav Desai, founder of Voice of SAP, for giving us this invaluable opportunity. The issue of affordable housing and the marginalization of persons with disabilities goes hand in hand. The Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities reaffirms the necessity of incorporating disability rights into the right to adequate housing as a priority for the state and the international community. To address the right to housing, the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development has awarded housing choice vouchers to serve non-elderly persons with disabilities. The Consortium for Citizens with Disabilities Housing Task Force finds that as of 2017, 1.41 million persons with disabilities in America are recipients of the Housing Choice Voucher Program. The Housing Task Force also notes that the fiscal year 2017 federal budget provided nearly $10 million for mainstream vouchers for extremely low-income people with disabilities. However, according to the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, it is the responsibility of a family to find a unit that meets the needs once they have received a Housing Choice Voucher. For persons with disabilities, the process of finding affordable and accessible housing is often a challenge. According to the Joint Center for Housing Studies at Harvard University, only 1% of the rental housing include all 5 of the following accessible housing features: a step-free entryway, single-floor layout, wide doors, lever door handles, and low-height electrical controls. The report follows that only 3.5% of housing units overall offer 3 of the most critical accessibility features.
Despite the United States being the champion of disability rights and equal accessibility in the world, the accessibility issue has still to be addressed. More so, this is problematic because the report further finds that by 2035, the number of older households with a disability will increase by 76% to reach 31.2 million, requiring an even higher demand for accessible housing. Voice of SAP's public utility mobile app, VOSAP, should be adopted not only by the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, but also by every member state present here, to help persons with disabilities, 1, identify rental housing units that have accessible housing features, and 2, rental housing units that are surrounded by accessible public spaces. The mobile app allows volunteers to add to a growing data set of accessibility-friendly buildings all over the world, which can later be accessed by housing voucher recipients who are disabled and are looking for a unit that meets their needs. Tackling this rapidly growing issue requires a global commitment, one that encourages the advancement and inclusion of persons with disabilities in all states. With the support of the United Nations Commission for Social Development, Voice of Specially Abled People is dedicated to creating a world in which persons with disabilities can receive affordable and accessible housing. Thank you.